Welcome, friends, to the Mobile Infantry, where fun is high and life expectancy is less high. You've been deployed to an ugly planet, a bug planet, a planet hostile to life, but rest assured, not as hostile to life as us. You and a platoon of 15 other brave soldiers will be hot dropped onto this nightmare of a planet to complete a series of objectives, with only one rule. Everyone will fight, no one will quit, and if you don't do your job, I'll kill you myself. I might do that anyways, but if you are doing your job, I'll at least apologize. So, without further ado,
I'm from Buenos Aires, and I say kill them all! Yeah!
the first thing we need to do before dropping onto this new world is pick your class. First up, we have Hunter, the Assault class. Your sole purpose as Hunter is to kill the bugs. What makes you special is the jetpack that allows you to fly a small distance, and reach areas normal troopers can't make it to. This will give you a huge advantage as the majority of bugs are restricted to only melee. Now, I know you're excited to play with your new toy, but we have to make sure we don't stray too far from our teammates, or they will not find your body. Next up, we have the Bastion, which is your heavy weapons class. Armed with a heavy machine gun, your job is to lay down the heavy support fire. As Bastion, you have the ability to hunker down, which heavily increases your accuracy, but completely sacrifices your movement. This makes you a lethal threat to any melee-based bugs, but makes you a sitting duck for gunners. You're a major asset to your team anytime you need to defend a sitting objective. But your true moment of glory, what every Bastion player hopes for, dreams for, is to be one of the first people to the extraction, so that you may turn around and lay down the support fire that's going to get your boys home, fulfilling your biological fantasy of taking a last stand against an overwhelming enemy force. The last class is Operator, basically serving as the field medic. Armed with a few syringes of opiates, you're able to heal yourself or teammates. But if I'm being perfectly honest, with the chaotic gunfights you'll find yourself in, I'm not sure how much you'll actually end up using these on teammates. So you'll be on that junky grind as you inject all your healing needles into yourself instead. Where your role as medic really comes in is your ability to dispatch a drone that remotely revives you or your teammates, keeping people alive in the chaos. Now that you know your options, you need to know what to do with them. For your early game, you're limited to one game mode. In this game mode, you're working your way towards a base location while completing several objectives along the way, like defending some radio uplinks or building oil refineries. God, I love this country. An important side note is after completing some of these objectives, a few rocket launchers will spawn in. These are incredibly dangerous and should only be handled by the extremely competent and manly, so if I'm in your lobby, you should probably just let me handle it. No, seriously. You get your dirty civilian hands off of my rocket launcher. These launchers are an amazing asset to the team and can be handled by any class, and are capable of taking out huge groups of enemies or one-shotting more dangerous bugs. But do keep in mind, this game has team damage. Once you make it to where the base location is, your entire team can gain access to a pool of buildings to try and protect the Ark, your main objective. Giving the whole team access is meant to encourage teamwork and coordination. But in reality what happens is you'll focus on part of the base, then turn around to see the abomination the rest of the team has just shit together. You see, the key to making a good base is to build it like a jawbreaker, meaning you need layers. Bugs are able to break through your walls, so instead of spreading your base to the limits with one layer of walls, you'll want to make a more condensed base with multiple layers. After holding down your base, the Ark finishes its scan and extraction begins. This isn't the end of the chaos, this is the beginning. Oh god,
No.
that poor bastard. You need to make your way to extraction while a mass amount of bugs spawn in. And as an added treat, respawns are now disabled, meaning you'll either make it or you won't. You'll have to work together as a team to clear a path, and try not to leave your homies behind. Not that you'll always have a choice.
The three of you did get in the ship. Disregard anybody else.
Yeah, this is scuff.
Nah, they'll make it, oh, that guy
could have
made it. The game mode that you unlock after hitting rank 5 is an Ark mission. This time, you begin on a much larger map with the base location right in the center. You'll need to collect materials to build your base and start the Ark. Quick side note, if you start the Ark before your team is ready, uninstall. Something to keep in mind during these missions is the patrols that spawn in. These are the only timed objectives and should be your team's main priority, because if you fail them, the infestation level increases, and everything else becomes harder with it. After the Ark begins, it goes on like any other mission. You still have to extract, lest you be lost to the bugs. The bugs come in many different shapes and sizes, starting with the basic drones and warriors. These are the standard bugs, and you'll be very familiar with them as they swarm you. Drones are the smaller ones, and warriors are the bigger ones. Next up, we have the tiger. These big yellow bastards are tankier and more resilient than your average bug, and if you let them within melee range of you, your service to the Republic will be remembered.
That's a tiger! Ah!
The next variant is the gunner. Gunners are ranged threats that should be treated as high priority targets. They'll hunker down to pick a target and then shoot it to shreds. If you're targeted by a gunner, you'll know soon enough. Last bug on our list is the grenadier. These bugs serve as massive artillery units for the encroaching horde.
You had on your class.
Oh, it's going right to me! Oh my god!
Depending on their locations, they can either be a mass threat or a minor inconvenience. When they spawn during a base defense, they'll be quickly pointed out and dispatched. Nothing more than a big bullet sponge. But when they spawn on top of a hill you're trying to take, they become a lot more trouble. But the most dangerous of all situations is when you never even realize they spawned in the first place.
Yeah, we should not
That's
go
a
down
tiger.
there until the tiger's dealt with. Holy shit!
Did you die too?
Yeah!
Overall, I very much enjoy the game. I think it's a blast to play with friends, and I highly recommend it for anyone who's a fan of the movies. The amount of players and enemies that are spawned in at any given time does a really good job of recreating the chaos of the fight scenes that you see in the movie. And it's in very early access at the moment, so there's kind of like minimal stuff going on, but they're actively updating it and showing a lot of promising things to come, so I highly recommend jumping on it. And one last thing before I leave you. This game has really good voice chat, so I'll leave you with some gems I found while playing.
Just doing my job.
This is fucking
Doing it,
handgun in
John.
this lobby?
Come on
What the
me.
fuck are we doing?
What the fuck?
Don't you love it when the bug grabs your balls and then kills you?
All this just to vote.
All
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that.
way.
This is my second day! I just got here!
I should have never smoked that shit. Now I'm on Planet P.